All right, Joe, it looks like we got everyone in now.
Cool, I'm just opening up a couple things here for this training. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late here. Just finishing up on a call. We are cool. So I'm Joe. Thanks. Hello to all of our guests. Hello to the real estate team. Yeah, so we do a training. My name is Joe Oz with eXp Realty. We do a training every Thursday at the same time. This has been going on for years now. And this training started out as a training that we do for our real estate team every single week. And what it really looks like is you know, across our platform, we're just here for you guys, right? So like whatever the real estate team needs, new agents, topics that are coming up, like if there's a market shift, if people were asking about short sales, people are asking about foreclosures, people are asking about whatever it is, whatever the hot topic is, we're going to dive into it, right? And what we found is, you know, this thing's open to anyone. What we think is no one succeeds alone. We think that, at least what I think is doing this real estate thing by yourself is not really fun. So it's fun to do it with some other people. And yeah, our goal is we just want to win together, and we invite everyone, anyone's invited, and we just want to work with like-minded people who want to have fun, build wealth through real estate, and support each other. And that's kind of what this is, man. And so I'm glad everyone's here. Psyched you're here. The topic that we're going to talk about today is setting your goals using a tool called a 1-3-5. Now, I'm going to talk about goal setting for a minute. Scott Mawson, are you here? Are you here? Are you here, or are you walking around Walmart?
I'm here. No Walmart today, baby.
What's the mission statement of the Joe Oz Real Estate Group?
Our mission statement is the Joe Oz Group is committed to helping our clients achieve their goals while helping our team members achieve theirs.
Look at that. Thank you. Everybody round of applause. Scott Mawson.
I've been practicing that.
I know. It's awesome. So guys, what Scott just said, thanks, Scott. That was awesome. What Scott just said is our mission statement is to help our clients achieve their goals while helping our team members achieve theirs. There's a lot to unpack there. That mission statement is extremely important to myself and everyone on this team, because what it means is we're putting the other person before us, right? And that's first and foremost. And the second thing is about goals, right? So in our organization, we coach to the goal. At the Joe Oz Real Estate Group, we coach to the goal. What that means is we talk like business people. So, you know, Tina Pilot, right, on our team. Tina wants to join the Joe Oz Group. We don't talk about splits. We don't talk about, all we talk about is the goal. And usually the goal is how much money you want to make, right? How many houses, and really for me, the goal is, yeah, it's how much money you want to make, right? So we are independent contractors, and what we do, the amount of the results that we put forward every single day and every single week and every single month are going to turn into what the outcome is, right? And so now when we're setting our goals, the reason I say this, man, is people don't set goals. It's insane to me, right? And like your goals you should follow up with your goals every single week, right? So in our organization at the Joe Oz Real Estate Group, everyone has a 1-3-5, right? I said in the beginning of this training is we always talk about the hot topic or what everyone kind of is struggling with or needs help with or what we're moving into. Right now, dude, today is the last day of the third quarter, you guys. So we're going into the fourth quarter, man. But believe it or not, I read that this morning. I get the morning brew emails or whatever, and they're like, well, today's the last day of the third quarter. I was like, damn, that is correct. That is correct. And so what that looks like is if you run a business, and what I would challenge everyone on this call to do, run your sales business like a business, like think like a business owner. Business owners right now, do you think they're thinking about 2021 or you think they're thinking about 2022? Someone answer that out loud.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. So like at the Joe Oz Real Estate Group and at EXP and at Keller Williams or wherever you are, right? If you own that business, right? Whatever we have in the pipeline, whatever's written and closed, by written we mean under contract or in escrow, whatever's written or closed, right? Those things are going to that's going to happen for us this year, right? Those things are going to happen for us. Now, everyone and then anyone like October 1st for me is like, boom, goal setting, right? So if you're running a business, you kind of know where you're going to be this year, right? The mistakes that you made are the mistakes that you made. The stuff you did really well is the stuff you did really well. Hopefully those are the things that we're carrying into the next year. And that's it. Now, so our organization, we have our team advance on Monday the 4th. We take a day out where we take a full day, right? The team gets together. We just kind of regroup. We're like, oh my God, what just happened last year? What's going to happen? Like, where are we going? Where are we going and where have we been, right? And a big part of that, if you're on my team, we've been talking about a 1-3-5 and goal setting is we're going to take about an hour during our team advance where we are going to finalize our 1-3-5s. Most of you have been working on your 1-3-5s with me or Gil, or you started them. And we're going to finalize those 1-3-5s. And along with our big why, we're going to present them back to our team, right? So you're going to have your 1-3-5, you're going to have your big why, you're going to talk about it, put it on the wall. That's it. We're going to put it out into the universe. So I want to talk about the third and fourth quarter, right? So the third and fourth quarter, this is super important, man. I was just talking to Scott about this, Scott Mawson. Scott, I'm calling on you today. Scott, so when you see like a race on TV, like people running a race, like a marathon or something, and you see like that rope or like that ribbon at the end, do people like slow down when they get to it, or do they like do something different?
Speed up at the end.
Speed up, right? They kind of like run through it, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Put their arms up.
Yeah, that's right, man. So, but what do realtors do at the end of the year?
Take their hands off or take their foot off the gas or their feet off the pedals, and they just kind of stride in.
Yeah, man. I remember working. So what I'm getting at here is we run through the finish line. Does that make sense? Yep. So December 31st to January 1st, we're going to run through that finish line. We're going to just cruise. Like, it's just like, dude, it's like you're like lapping your competition, right? That's what I look at. I'll never forget the first broker that I worked at, the first real estate team that I was on. Those people, my broker owner and my team leader were like, at the end of the year, they're just like, we don't, they kind of were like, we all just kind of took off, man. Like, it was funny when Thanksgiving came around, it was like, well, nothing's going to happen till the spring. And that was the vibe in the office. And, I believed it, right? And so I was told that was vacation time and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I get it, man. The end of the year, it's easier, right? Because there's less going on. It's not as busy and things like that. Also,
you got the triple play down at AC where people usually are there for 4 or 5 days, and then it takes about 4 or 5 days to recover. So that's like a good 10-day commitment just off the calendar.
100%, right?
Amazing conversations with people, and nobody remembers any of it ever. Like,
that's true, man.
Total waste of time.
So I think what we talk about here is just running through the finish line and setting those goals, right? And so we set really purposeful goals in our organization. They say that back to what I was saying about the end of the year, we would all go on vacation, and that was kind of it. And then really what I did is I just like hung out and waited for the spring market. And whenever it happened is like whenever it happened, right? So like whether it was January, February, March, whenever my deal started happening is when the spring market happened, right? But the real truth is you can create the market. The market doesn't have to slow down. And as long as you're being purposeful every single day and you're doing what you need to do, the results are going to show up. So in our organization, we get our unfair share. I've always gotten so much business in November and December, man. In November, by the way, I'm going to say this because it's super important, right? In October, November, December, the fourth quarter is the most important quarter of the entire year, because what you're doing in that fourth quarter is you're setting up your next year. Does that make sense? So Scott, when you're calling off markets in the fourth quarter, what's the number one rebuttal that you get?
We're going to wait till after the holidays. Give me a call in the new year.
You guys hear that? I'm going to wait till after the holidays. Please, I'm going to wait until the new year. What does that mean? That means that people are going to, They already made a decision. They just told you they're going to sell their house. It's amazing. And there's nobody else calling them. There's no one else talking to them. There's no one else calling them, right? So I'm here to tell you guys, there's this secret, right? And my very first real estate coach, she called it get your unfair share. She's like, in the fourth quarter, get your unfair share, man. Like the early bird gets the worm, or whatever analogy you want to make. Like during that fourth quarter, by the way, we don't slow down in our organization. Our real estate team is going to stay busy. We're going to keep doing business. We're going to run through that finish line, right? Like we're going to cruise through it, arms up. That's what we are going to do. But it's a gift, man. You have just have as many conversations as you possibly can. And it was funny. Lauren and I were reviewing we keep a track of all of our appointments, all of our listings. If you look back every year, the first week of January, we list like 10 houses. Like boom, 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 every January, boom, boom, boom. Because what's happening now is realtors don't want to make those phone calls, right? Like they don't want to prospect. They don't want to have conversations. They don't want to do whatever. They don't want to do a lot of things, but they certainly don't want to prospect, right? They don't want to do these things that they should be doing, having these conversations. But what happens in the new year is people just make decisions, man. People make decisions. It's a new start. It's fresh. It's all these things, right? And so if you keep a pipeline of those people and stay in contact with them, it's amazing what happens, right? So with that being said, I kind of want to talk about how we view the fourth quarter, what that looks like. Now, goals, I kind of feel like it's really obvious to me that people should set goals, but most people don't, man. And like, man, I'm going to say some, I don't know, maybe this is controversial shit. I don't really know, but like, I talk to realtors. I don't sell houses, right? Like, I'm not on appointments. I talk to realtors every day, man. I talk to the new realtor. I talk to the realtor thinking about getting their real estate license. I talk to the brand new realtor. I talk to the realtor that's been doing business for 20 years. I talk to all of them, right? And like, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, tell me about your goals. What's important to you? And I think that's the most valuable question. Like, and I sincerely want to know, because if I can help you hit those goals, I will. And I'll create a business plan, a 1-3-5, to show you how to do it. And then we will work as partners together to run through that finish line, right? But I never thought that turns out to be a very confrontational question. And I never thought it would be, right? Like, if someone asks me, what are your goals? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I want to talk about it, right? And like, that's a big deal, but people don't talk about their goals and they don't think about them. They don't write them down. They don't know them. It's insane, right? It's totally bonkers, right? When I talk to these agents, this is what they say, man. They say like, they rate themselves. There's this thing called Circle of Excellence where you like sell a certain amount of houses and you go to this awards dinner and you get an award and then it goes in the newspaper or something. And it's really arbitrary and it's like bronze, silver, gold, and like that's what they say. They're like, well, I did silver, I did bronze, so now I want to do silver. Like, what does that even mean? I'm like, oh, and then my next question is, and this is where they get upset because I'm holding them accountable and I'm getting really strategic and I'm very passionate about goal setting. If you can tell from this the way that I'm talking right now, but when they don't know, they get nervous and they get confrontational. And so, and by the way, that's when I realized it's probably someone I shouldn't be in business with. That's the way it goes, right? If you're not psyched about your goals and on fire, like when I met Gil Olson, that dude had like, he just knew it. He had these wild goals. It got me super intrigued. And I was like, damn, that's who I want to run with. Like, no matter what we're doing, what business we're doing, I want to run with that guy because he's on fire about his goals, right? But what I'll say is they'll be like, oh, I want to do silver. And I'm like, great. That's awesome. If that's important to you, then cool. Let's start there. What does that mean? What does that mean? How many houses is that? They're like, well, I think it's like, they don't know. They're like, I think it's like 8 million, or I think it's like 10 million, or I think it's like, I'm like, cool. How many houses is that? It's insanity, right? And so like, it's like, or they say like, oh, I want to make $100,000. And I'm like, it's the number one answer. Dude, Gil, you can chime in any time here, man. It's the same answers, man. They're like, yo, I want to make $100,000. Every realtor wants to make $100,000. And then I ask them how they're going to do that. They're like, Well, I don't know. I'm going to sell some houses. And then I'll move on. I'll ask another question and I'll say like, cool. Well, when was the last time you made $100,000 selling real estate? Like, well, I haven't. Cool. Who are you coaching with right now that has made $100,000 in selling real estate? They usually don't have that answer. So this is something I'm passionate about, because whatever you want to do in real estate, you can do it, right? Like whatever you want to do in life, you could do it. You just have to make a plan. And I've made a decision, because I've spent 10 years like talking to people that don't make plans and aren't passionate about their goals. If you're passionate about your goal and you really want to hit it, let's make a plan. And if you don't want to make a plan about it, I don't want to be in business with you. And I don't like, it's the talent versus no talent chart, right? Like that's not going to push me. That's not going to get me excited, right? Scott Mawson, you know, I'm just looking at you because you're on my screen, but like this guy's like, dude, he had his goals. He brought his goals to me. He's like, dude, this, and his shit is on another planet. And when I see that, like it's his goals they're not, what they say, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? Like it's going to take a lot of work, man. And like that dude knows what he needs to do. And he brought, same thing with Gil. When I first sat down with Gil, he's like, dude, this is the plan for my life. This is what's important to me. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get there. I've already done this. And when you hear that stuff, you get like fired up and you want to like run with that, man. Like you want to do, you're like, yeah, okay. Like, yes, how people, all right, yeah, let's do it. Shit, let's do it, man. I'm on fire right now. And so on New Year's Eve resolutions, is that what they're called? New Year's resolutions, right? Like those are like the number one most like worthless like goals. Like if you rate all the goals, and they're useless because nobody puts. They're like, oh, I'm gonna lose weight. I want to lose weight. Yeah. And it's like, but then they don't because they didn't make a plan, right? They didn't make a business plan, right? And so, what that looks like is,
easy.
you know, the person that says like, hey, you know what? I'm going to lose 20 pounds by April 1st. I'm going to go to the gym 4 days a week. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to eat vegetables instead of whatever. Like that person is, that person's going to hit their goal, right? Hold on one second. Now, to bring this all back together, right? You have to create a business plan, right? So like my wealth coach, the coach that coaches our real estate team, he's like, Joe, I need to see your business plan before we start working together. And I'm like, and he's like, well, it's just the 135. He's like, do you have that? I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. You know? So what you have to do is you just have to create a business plan. That's all. That makes sense. That's what a 135 is. It's a business plan. And we just have to be purposeful. So everyone in our organization has to have a 135. If you should either start one or have one finished by Monday when we all get together. If you have questions, bring us. We're going to spend an hour on Monday just like reviewing everybody's 135s, fixing some stuff, talking about things. Now, one thing I want to talk about real quick. Let me share my screen real quick. Who knows what a SMART goal is? Anybody?
I don't know what that is, Joe.
Thank you. Cool. Good. Well, good thing we're here. Can you guys see my screen? I kind of just Googled it and pulled it up. Can you guys see? Yeah, cool. These are what SMART goals are. It's an acronym, right? SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and they're time-based. Okay. I'm gonna lose weight. Is that a SMART goal? No. I'm gonna lose 20 pounds by June 1st. I'm gonna lose whatever, 1 pound a week or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week. Is that a SMART goal? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So when you're setting a business plan or a 135, if your goals aren't SMART, they're not goals. It doesn't matter. Like it's worthless. Don't even write it down. It doesn't matter. Right. I'm going to read these off. Right. So SMART, specific, make your goals specific and narrow for more effective planning. Right. Measurable, define what evidence will prove you're making progress and reevaluate when necessary. Attainable, make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. Attainable. We made a joke. We had a brand new licensee come in who had never sold real estate before. And yeah, he just wanted to make 400 grand the next year. He's like, I'm gonna make 400 grand. I'm like, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's attainable, right? That's cool. So do I. It's cool, you know, but is that really attainable? Like, what does that really look like? Relevant, your goals should align with your values and long-term objectives, and time-based. Set a realistic, ambitious end date for task prioritization and motivation. So if you guys ever need to, like, if you want to wonder if your goal should go on your 135, just Google SMART goals like I just did and just read it again, right? Really, really simple. Cool. I'm going to stop for a second. That was kind of my setup for 1 through 5. Any questions, comments, ahas?
As you pull that up, Joe, I mean, everybody should know there's just a ton of research and data, you know, about visualizing things and writing stuff down on a paper. Physically writing it makes a big difference than just typing it or thinking about it or saying it out loud. All those things are good, but like the act of actually writing on a physical piece of paper and then reviewing it and internalizing it, saying it out loud and all that kind of stuff, like sounds like cheesy Dale Carnegie shit, but it works.
Thanks, Gil. I do all that stuff, you guys. I say affirmations. One of my affirmations was I'm going to move to Orange County, California and sell houses there. The first day that I had a listing in New Jersey and California, an open house, it's a cool day. I just said it every morning. I was like, oh, like this is going to happen. It's insanity. I swear to God, stuff happens, right? Positive mental attitude, setting your goals. Now we're going to move into a 1 through 5. So now our 1 through 5, of course, I just deleted that. Agent 1 through 5. Cool. Now 1 through 5. Does anybody know what the 1 through 5 stands for? With the 1, the 3, and the 5?
1 goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies.
Right. That's right. So we make a goal. This is like it's this simple, guys. This is a business plan. It's 1 page. It's 1 goal, 3 priorities, and then there's 5 strategies that support each goal, right? I'm going to pull up an example, right? Give me 1 second here. That's not going to work. So this is agent. This is an agent's 1 through 5, right? So this agent has a goal. Can everybody see my screen? They want to sell 96 units, right? $840,000 in GCI, $33,600 in volume, and that's a $350,000 average price point. So now, this was a goal for, I think this was an agent running a real estate team, right? So they want to sell 96 units. And then what they do is they break it down, right? So here, let me make this bigger. Cool. It's a little bigger. So this could be anything, right? I just went through an agent who's like, I want to make $100,000, right? And then what happens is we just take that $100,000, right? And then we break it. This is the economic model in the MREA book, by the way. So we take that $100,000 and then we break it down into the average price point and then whatever split they're on, and we just break that up, right? Does that make sense, you guys? Any questions there? This agent wanted to get to 96 units, right? This was for, they run a team. Priority number 1, take 50 listings, 1 week for, so that was their first priority. First priority was to take 50 listings. That's it, right? That's smart, right? It's measurable, right? And that breaks down to 1 a week, 4 a month. Now you have to have strategies to talk about how you're going to take those 50 listings, right? So strategy number 1 is we're going to go on 40 listing appointments a month, 10 a week, right? So these people said whatever their conversion rate was, as long as they go on 40 listing appointments a month, they're gonna take that amount of listings, right? Strategy number 2 was they were gonna hold 4 client events. They're gonna do an Easter event, a happy hour, a Santa event. They do like assisted living facilities. Strategy number 3 is every agent is going to prospect for 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, 200 dials a day. The goal is 2 nurtures per day per agent. That comes out to 1,000 dials a week, 10 nurtures a week. Strategy number 4, it says who to call. FSBO, for sale by owner. It's a list of who they're going to call. Is that a SMART goal?
I would say yes.
Yeah. There's no number attached to it, right?
Oh, okay.
It's not measurable, right? Like, so if you were to, so that one, like you could even make that one, like that's the only thing that it's just not measurable. There's no numbers in there. If your goals don't have a number in there or a date, it's probably not a SMART goal, right?
I got you.
They also set a 15th protocol, right? So that's strategy number 4. That's a good one, like who to call, right? It would be like spend 1 hour calling FSBOs, spend 1 hour calling off markets, canceled, expired, spend 1 hour a day circle dialing, something like that. 3 hours a day calling circle dialings, right? Something like that, right? Or it would say have my lists together the night before to call or something like that. Strategy number 5 is 15th protocol. Does anybody know what a 15th protocol is?
No.
Scott, what's a 15th protocol?
So basically you're looking at the 15th, you're at the halfway point for the month. So you want to see if you're on pace to hit your goals and what you need to do if you're not. Basically realign your strategy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So yeah, 15th protocol is if you have a goal and you're in the middle of the month and you're not, if you're on at the 15th of every month, if you're on track to hit that goal, there's really nothing to do. If you're not on track, then boom, it's like sound the alarm, 15th protocol. That's like we're all night, we're calling on Saturday, we're door knocking on the weekends, you're just doing things outside your normal effort. It's kind of Scott and I were talking about hitting goal and like, well, I guess I'm on the dialer this weekend because I'm not at goal or whatever. So that just depends, you know, that this person was getting their team bought into the 15th protocol and changing their 15th protocol if they were not on track. Priority number 2, close 8 units a month, right? So in order to, I'm pretty sure that whatever 96 divided by 12 is comes out to 8, right? So they just need to close 8 units because I'm guessing not everything's going to come from a listing. The goal here is if they take a listing, if they take a listing every week, they're going to get a lead or a buyer or sell a couple of them. And some of those sellers are going to have to go buy something. So that's going to get them to their 100 units. Now this is a part now. So here's a part where we would kind of work on, right? Close 8 units a month, time block, prospecting and time off, right? That's not really a SMART goal, is it? I would say I'm going to time block. I'm going to prospect for kind of, this one's already kind of up here. They kind of repeat themselves, right? Track numbers, purposely hold agents accountable. I would say like report numbers by this time every single day and follow up, things like that. What questions do you guys have? What questions do you guys have about the 135 and goal setting? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Is it?
Definitely makes sense.
Cool, thanks. Thanks, guys. I think so too. Now, who has a 135 that they want to share?
Come on, Joe. I'm going to be driving, so I'll do my best to answer on mute.
Whoa, okay. You sure, Tina?
Yeah, you could share it.
Look at that, dude. Tina Pilot. Look at that.
Yeah, I got mine too as backup. If I'm gonna do it on Monday, or was planning to, but it might save time on Monday, or have that as well as another one.
Thanks, dude. All right, guys. Tina Pilot is a mega agent. She's gonna share her 135 with you guys. That's pretty awesome. So you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Tina's Tina has, this is her 135. This is awesome. Her goal is to make $350,000 net. Is that specific, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. You know why? Can someone tell me why I love that so much?
Because it kind of counts for everything. Like it's very specific.
Yeah, it's net. So like what realtors do is this, they're like, I want to make 100 grand. Like, all right, wait, hold on. Is that GCI? Is that like what you
Right.
want to home? Is that what you want to pay after taxes? Is that what?
Right.
Remember, if if you're in our organization, you're running the shit like a business. This is a business, right? We talk about cost of sales, we talk about expenses, we talk about net operating income, we talk about all these things because if you're in this organization and we understand the big picture, everyone that's here is here to create wealth through real estate. And by the way, wealth isn't created in real estate by like selling houses. Just so you guys know. I hope you're like, our goal with our money is to start other businesses in real estate, ancillary businesses, right? We want to have other buckets of income. So now Tina says to me, like, she wants to make, so is 350 gross and 350 net two very different numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah, they are.
Joe, can I'm not that smart because I just started.
That's okay. Tell me.
Can you-
Yeah, this is for you.
I don't really know. I know we always speak in this GCI and volume stuff, and like I like net makes more sense to me. So what is GCI?
Perfect. Do you know what it stands for? You can say no.
Gross. It's something gross.
Yeah.
Gross. Something income.
Gross commission income. Awesome question. Hell yeah. This is what I'm talking about. So we talk in GCI because that's the actual gross number. So GCI is gross commission income. So that's the easiest way to know what that number is, or at least for me, when I learned was if you're in New Jersey, we use attorneys, right? That's the check that comes from the attorney. Untouched, that's the number before anybody gets, before your like team or your EXP gets their greasy hands on it, right? Like that's the big number, right? Before everyone starts nibbling on your shit, that's the gross, right? So there's a $10,000 commission check, you know, then you have your split with your real estate team, your split with the broker, and then you're left with like $14, right? That's the net.
I like net better.
Yeah. Does someone tell me why the net is so important to you, the realtor?
Because it's what you make.
Yep. Good job, Joe. Yeah. Who cares what EXP gets? Who cares what, like how much money do you, because again, we at the Joe House Real Estate Group, we coach to the goal. So if you're like, I need to know what you want to make because I can get you there, right? And I'm going to give you the activity. I'm going to create the business. We're doing it right now. This is a GPS. A 135 is also known as a GPS. What does a GPS do, you guys?
Direction.
Where you're going.
Gets you there.
Yeah, get you where you're going, dude. It's like, hey, I'm going to go from California to New Jersey. Or I'm going to go from California to New Jersey. I'm going to take Route 66 to Route 702 and blah, blah, blah. We're going to stop. This is the roadmap to get there, right? This is a business plan. If you have a 135, you have a business plan, you have a roadmap. By the way, we have a 135 for client events. We have a 135 for farming. We have a 135. My wife made a 135 for her garden. You can make a 135 for anything, any goals, anything you want to be purposeful with, make a 135. Like, please, this thing changed my life. And it's like, again, one of these, this is, what do I always talk about? The fundamentals, right? Kobe Bryant shooting free throws. These are the fundamentals, you guys, of business. This is not the sexy stuff, right? Like, if we want to get 500 people on this training, we would do like a script battle, right? And like, or something like that, right? But that's not going to get you guys, that's not going to get you your goals. I'm sorry, right? Like, that's fun and crazy, and we're all going to throw money down like we're in a dice game because Kyle's doing one right now. That's why I brought it up. But like, these are the fundamentals, man. And this is what we have to get. These are the free throws, man. I always say it, dude. The free throws win and lose games, right? So anyway.
I got a question.
Yes.
So how specific do you get with taxes and planning for taxes and your write-offs and stuff like that?
Dude, this is awesome. So that question came up twice this week in business planning, right? So the taxes are counted in your net, right? So when Tina says I want to make 350 net, That's the net to her. That's what she will be, she'll be 1099 for. Does that make sense? So
Yep.
you're responsible for your taxes. Does that
Right.
make sense? So I don't know. I asked my accountant that question, and the accountant's like, Joe, your agents, dude, I don't know who owns 10 investment properties. I don't know whose wife makes $500,000 a year working for Google. Like, I don't know who's doing what. So you let the agents worry about their taxes. Does that answer your question?
Gotcha.
So when we say, that's an amazing question. I'm so psyched you answered it. So what happens is like, I can get you to that number. Katie.
Hi. I just have a question regarding like your net income. Do you also include like your MLS fees and your E&O and all the other like transaction fees and stuff like that? Is that part of it or not really?
It's a good question. That's another good question. That's what's included in that's your expenses, right? So like, or that's your expenses. So you have your net number, like your net number is what you're going to make, right? That's like the 10, am I saying that right? It's 1099, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're 1099 from as an independent contractor. That's
okay,
like the,
yeah.
if you think of your social security number like an LLC, like you should be thinking as a business person. I think of my social, when I'm wearing my agent hat, I think of my social security number as a person, as an LLC. I run it like a business. There's certain things that are your expenses. I got to pay for my license. I got to pay for my CE credits. I got to pay for gas, all that stuff. I got to have a car, yada, yada, yada. I got to wear clothes. Not that that's a big line item for me. Everybody knows, but anyway, all that stuff is like on your personal P&L basically, but your income is your income. So Katie, to answer your question, all those things that are just the cost of being a realtor in the world, no matter who you are or what you're doing, all those things are, would be coming. If that cost 50 grand off 350, you'd have 300 left. And so any of those things become write-offs if you're doing it correctly. Like when I go to my accountant, I say, here's what my cell phone plan is. I use this for work. I have a portion of my house that I utilize as an office, and I have that square footage, and even in my primary residence as a, I throw that to the account. I track my mileage at the beginning of the year, and you do that for the IRS. Like I take a picture on New Year's Day of the odometer on my car. I take a picture on New Year's Eve, and I do the math, and then there's the IRS number at like 53 cents a mile, and I can write that off against that income. And you add all those things up, you keep track of all that stuff, maintenance on your car, all that kind of stuff, and your accountant will give you the red light, green light on what you can and can't write off. But those are the things that will be coming, their expenses on your P&L, like your income and expenses personally, and then they become write-offs in your own when you file your own taxes.
Right. I think that was what we were trying to understand, is that when you make your goal, do you get very specific as far as saying, okay, my net is going to be 350. Am I saying that 350 after my costs, after my taxes, after right? Or is that net and then, okay, let me take off everything that I need?
Since everybody's situation is so unique, it's kind of like, this is one of those things that's on any individual, or to find mentors or whoever to kind of guide through, or ideally an accountant or whatever, to be like, hey, this is where I'm at, where I've got going on, properties or not, rentals, everything. And you can go and be like, what do you think my projected tax burden will be? Which tax bracket am I going to fall in? 350 is going to be a lot different than if you're talking about 75,000 or 35,000. Right. At each thing, you're at these different tax brackets, plus whatever else you got going on, kids, not kids, daycare, all the stuff. So the accountant will be able to kind of give you a thing. And once you're in it for a couple of years, then you'll start to know, like, hey, my taxes actually shake out to be, once net of all expenses in my whole rest of my life. I'm actually, in the past 3 years, I've averaged about 17% taxes or 32% tax. Wherever you're at, you'll get a gauge of what that is. And then you can start to think about your goals in terms of like, all right, well, after taxes and expenses and everything, spendable dollars, I'm looking at X. I got to make this to hit these numbers, and sort of translate from there. I tell new agents and people that I'm talking to about all this stuff, I'm like, look, all this stuff gets a little complicated, and there's taxes, and you can't. It's a little. It can be opaque, and percentage math is not the most straightforward, and all, everything is, there's a lot of numbers involved, and salespeople are not always the same people crunching the spreadsheet in their head. What I've
Whatever I-
done.
Go ahead.
What
Sorry, you're on a roll.
sorry, somebody jump in. Go ahead.
No, it's I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were taking a break. I was just gonna say, when I make my goals and my numbers, I always just say 50% of whatever I'm gonna walk away with, I'm putting away for taxes. And I'm gonna live on half of whatever I take home. And then I just, I would put that away, perfect world. And you just hand that over to the accountant, because you're gonna have to cut a check at the end of the year, most likely, if you're getting
Right.
paid all 1099. Again, depending on like what your situation is. So I just assume half is gonna be taken away for me. And then it's almost never gonna be that. So if you're ready to, to write taxes for that much, at the end of the year, you're pretty much giving yourself a nice bonus, because you're gonna probably see about 20% of that back if you got a decent account.
It's a forced savings plan when you do it that way. I recommend doing
Exactly.
a separate account. It's becoming our financial strategy session, but that's okay.
Sorry.
You recommend like a separate
sorry.
account. No, it's helpful. This is useful. Like, if this is the useful
we
thing,
can just do this as our next training, by the way, for all this financial stuff is super important.
Yeah,
It was
wrap up
more
real
of,
quick,
sorry, and I'll let you go and finish it, Gil, but it was just more of like understanding, okay, like how far do I take my goal as far as specifics?
Well, hold on, time out. Let me answer that question just black and white, right? Like, anything that happens with your taxes is up on you, right? Like any of your funds, like anywhere you go, you guys got to figure out what your taxes are, right? So when Tina has a 350 net, that's what what she's going to earn from selling real estate in the next 12 months. That's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So basically then, like, after that, you have to worry about what you do with taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah. And by the way, if you
yeah.
guys don't know this, man, like keep one credit card for spending for your real estate business. Like, just, that's it. That one credit card. If you're, by the way, if you're going out to eat, like with a client or whatever, use it, right? If you're going to buy something at Staples, use it. If you're on the Joe Real Estate Group, I hate to break it to you, you don't have a lot of expenses, right? Like, you're not buying lock boxes, you're not buying signs, you're not paying for photos, you're not like it's mostly taken care of for you. So the realtors on our team, it's really easy. What are you guys paying for? You're paying for your cell phone, you're paying for your car, you're paying for your E&O. Well, that comes out of your commission. So you're paying for your car, you're paying for your all you're paying for is your car, your cell phone, and you're paying for your like MLS fees, and you're paying for your continuing education. Am I missing anything?
Supra.
Buying gifts.
Supra, buying gifts. Thank you, Sam. Hell yeah. Yeah. Closing gifts, your Supra, that's it. So, and by the way, I don't like, I had this conversation the other day. Like, I don't like my wife, like, I don't pay for meals with my business credit card that don't have anything to do with business. That's dumb. Like, I want to have a real P&L. I want to know exactly, like, I want to know what it costs to run my business. Like, I'm not like, oh, like that shit does not happen. Like, our finances are correct. But so, yeah, does that help everyone? We can go into like, we should just do like a financial, like a friend of ours does like a financial Friday, talks about all this stuff. These are all really great questions that no one really has the answers to, but we do have the answers to. Cool.
That's sorry, I didn't mean to take it that route.
That's good. I think your question probably helped a lot of people.
It helps inform what your goals should be. And this is coming into this industry a couple of years ago, this is something that like is just it's so common that people in this industry have no idea, or entering it. You come into it, and even clients, they think that you're making whatever. They see the commission, they do the house, they say 5% on $1 million house, you made 20 grand. It's like it doesn't the numbers don't match up between what people are seeing from the outside and the top line and what reality is. They forget that it actually is a business with expenses.
Yeah.
And the government knows about it,
right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like slinging drugs on the black market or something. Like, this is a legit regulated thing, and it's all through the bank, and people know about it. So you're paying taxes, and it's like, and it's it's easy to jump into this industry and make a lot of 5-figure checks and generate that sort of income and revenue, and then like have multiple, it's not a regular paycheck where the employer takes the money out, or you're not a bartender and you have a wad of cash. Like it's just a learning curve that people have to go through. And it's one thing to do it the hard way, where you just spend all that money and at the end of the year, you get a giant bill for what would be a giant chunk of your taxes. Or, you do it the right way, be conservative and be really lean coming into it. Like Scott said, if you divert 50% of any income that comes from your business into a separate account and you don't touch it, you're going to be pleasantly surprised in April. And your lifestyle is going to be leaner and meaner, and you're going to get to your real goals faster if you're saving that aggressively. Because then when you double your income, but you're still living on 50%, you're saving, and that becomes your capital for your investment. Like if you're really serious about this business, sell a bunch of houses, you operate on that, I'm saving half, the government maybe gets half or whatever that, and then there's just 20% of that left over. Say you actually did the realtor goal, made $100,000, you saved 50, that means you're living on 50 grand to spend.
Right.
It's totally doable, unless you got 5 kids or whatever. But you're living on 50 grand, that's very respectable salary per se. And then you paid the government 20 or 30, and you've got 20 or 30 as a nut at the end of the year. That's a down payment.
So it kind of, what you just said kind of brought me up to another question about the goal, is that like these goals are very specific to selling the houses. And Joe, you and I, when we talked, remember I told you one of my goals when I first started real estate and why I really truly got into it was my whole life I was around my father, and he did construction, and he always invested, sold, bought, rentals, like that was big. How specific do you get with those type of goals as far as investments in your goals here?
It's you make a separate 1 through 5 for exactly that.
Okay.
So I have time blocked in my calendar for like investments, right? So like I have to I work, it's another job, man. Like, and ultimately if you're here, like when I say if you're here, like at the Joe Oz Real Estate Group and people that we run with, we're running different businesses, right? Like there's the investment, there's this, all these different things. So like that's just another business. And so that's the goal, man. We make money selling houses so we can go start other businesses. An investment property is a business. A construction company is a business. A property management company is a business. Whatever is a business. So like, and every single house you own is an LLC, and that's a business. But yeah, so that's Gil's 100% right. That's another one.
Separate. Okay.
If you want to buy 5 houses, like, and then it's a goal. What's the goal, dude? I want to have X amount of passive income coming in, or whatever. Maybe you just want to dude, I love the investment strategy where like, dude, if I break even and I have a tenant that's paying and they're paying off an asset of mine while the values go up, that's awesome too. So my kids have something awesome for when they're done. But
separate. Okay.
Yeah, 100%, man. So like we no, that's good stuff. Yeah, this is awesome. So we're gonna Scott's got a financial planner, insurance person that wants to come in and speak. So we're gonna set that up. It sounds like that'd be a really good thing. I have a financial planner. We have all these things. And I think some of this masterminding, I'm not like whatever, but like I've spent a lot of time learning about this stuff, so we can mastermind on this stuff as well. But that's good, man. God, see how important it is to put the net number and get real specific about it, because these numbers get confusing, man, and people don't know what's what. And it's bullshit because everyone says a number. Like you get a barbecue and everyone says that they make. It's not. I'm just gonna say this, man. If you got to take something from this, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. Yeah, that's it, right? So like what it looks like is like, dude, what am I really making here? It's like people don't know how much they weigh. They don't know what they paid in taxes. They don't know their net worth. These things are bonkers to me, right? Like that shit, what we measure gets accomplished, right? So I'm gonna say one thing that is really important that I want to kind of like, that I want to get through. And then what we'll do is we'll just continue this in the next training, right? Does that make sense? If you look at this 135, right? That goal is broken down really well. Tina wants to make $350,000 in 12 months. That's going to 80 units. That's 80 units sold at a $350,000 price point. 80 units. So she's on on a buy side on us, the majority of what we do, we ran this on a 50-50 split, right? She ran that on a 50-50 split, right? So that means a GCI of $700,000 times a 2.5% commission equals 80 units times 2.5 at a $350,000 price point is $700,000 divided by 2, right? Because she's buyer heavy. So it went to $350,000. She's going to do the list, whatever. We can get into splits and stuff.
I gotcha.
Makes it super easy, right? We pay a little, like on average, we pay a lower split on listings because we have a listing coordinator and we pay for all the marketing and things like that. But we did this on a 50-50. That's not what I wanted to point out. What I want to point out is this. Your first priority is the most important priority. Does that make sense? Tina's a really great example because on your 1-3-5, if you nail the first priority, nothing else matters. So if you have a proper 1-3-5, your first priority should take care of your goal. If that one, it's like Gary Keller's one thing, right? What's the one thing that you can concentrate on so that everything else is unnecessary or just doesn't matter, right? So when on our real estate team, everyone has a 1-3-5 moving into the new year. You're going to have a one-on-one with either Gil or me every single week, right? We can even do these together. Like we can all do we can always do them together, like in groups or something. But either way, you have a one-on-one, you go over your 1-3-5 and you track it. The way this looks, this is a great example. So for Tina's been like crushing, like she's been absolutely crushing. I don't know if she's still on this call. I think she was in her car. She bolted, right? So she's probably like taking 5 listings right now. Tina's crushing, right? And so like with her, when I sit down with her for a 1-3-5, I review the goal. I say, Tina, goal is 350 net. Do that in 12 months. That means we got to close 80 units. Our first priority is take 50 listings. That's 1 a week. And then I ask her, I go, did you take a listing this week? She says, yes. I'm like, cool. Have you taken a listing every week since we started? The answer is yes, by the way, you guys, she has. So like, I'm done. 1-3-5, it's over. Like that, our one-on-one is over. We have nothing else to talk about. If she was behind in goal, would I have to elaborate? Someone say yes, please.
Yes.
And then what would I elaborate on? Do you think I might go down to these strategies and be like, cool, all right, well, you're behind in goal. Did you circle prospect 100 dials 5 times this week? Did you do 2 hours outbound? Did you set 3 listing appointments? That's what the strategies are for, right? If you're not hitting goal, you're probably not in your strategies. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yep.
Cool. Let's do this. Let's share. Dude, thanks for our guests, dude. Thanks for the questions, dude.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
I'm psyched you're here, man. I hope you join more. And so I think, let's do this. Let's go around the room. Let's get 3 ahas. Who has an aha? So by the way, we share ahas because you might have heard something that someone else didn't hear that they need to hear. Let's come from the heart of a teacher and share some ahas. Who has one for me?
You mean aha, like something that we heard and it's like we never did before?
Just a big takeaway, right? An aha is like a big takeaway, like, oh, you know what? Or something you're going to implement or something that you learned.
SMART goal, really, as far as like 1-3-5 and having a SMART goal, that was definitely a big aha for me. Like, oh, I see how specific, like I always just said, yeah, I want to make this much, and being the specifics and breaking it down, priority and strategies, totally make much more sense to me now.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Lewis. Who else has an aha?
Mine, the specifics were a big aha for me because I wasn't being quite that specific. So now this gives me a better direction in doing my 1-3-5.
I love it. I love it.
I have another question besides ahas. It's always a year. Is that what you're always setting it for? I mean, I guess it can be anything, right? But in this purpose, we are doing a goal for a year. Is that right?
Well, I mean, the tool itself can be translated for anything. You can make it for your whole life if you want. But for like, we're talking to agents. It makes sense to do a calendar, a business year. Yeah, you're thinking about what you want to make in a year. It's a reasonable time frame to chunk it down to. Yes.
And then occasionally you might change it up a little in the middle.
If so, one thing that happens, let's be optimistic, is like like Joe said, oh, I'm done with the 135. I'm done. Like she's been taking listening a week, so I don't have to go down the rest of it. I don't have to go to the rest of the strategies or whatever. If that's happening like for 2 or 3 quarters in a row, like, do you think if I go to the gym and I'm, and I'm lifting a weight and I can just do it nonstop and I'm not really
So you
breaking
gotta
sweat,
bump it up.
I got to bump it up. So you do have to reevaluate. Yeah. Or if you come in and you have the unrealistic expectation where you're like, I want to make 400 grand the first year I start. I don't know anything. And then you're going to have to be like, all right, well, maybe
This isn't
I
working out.
going to chunk it down to something more realistic. Yeah. Adapt smartly. Yeah.
Yeah, have 3 and 5 year goals. You know what I mean? Please, like, have those goals, man, because those big goals, those 5-year goals, those 3-year goals, that's what fires me up. You know what I mean? Radical. Anyone want to share anything else? I want to respect everyone's time. Make sure we end on time.
I know that pretty much everybody's here is like really pumped on diving into the financial stuff, so we can set that up for a future one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be
Cool.
happy to be invited. If
Oh
possible.
yeah, Lewis, you're invited all the time, man. It's every Thursday, same time. Cool, man. All right, guys, I'm gonna run. If anybody needs me, hit me up, and I will. I'm gonna see Lauren. We're back here in what? 10 minutes? Is it 10 or 15 minutes?
10 minutes. We'll be back at 1:10 p.m. Eastern
All
Standard
right,
Time.
bye, guys. See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you. See
Bye,
ya.
everybody.